Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Veronia, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the financial goals that I set for myself in 2021. Now I can't believe by the time this gets posted it's going to be New Year's Eve, so it's the last video of 2021 and I wanted to wish you a happy new year in advance and all of that. But I'm really excited because what we're going to be doing is looking through the goals that I set for myself this time last year. Now if you are curious, I do actually have that video up on my YouTube channel, so definitely check that out if you would like to. I will link that up here for you and in the description below. And before I forget as well, in the beginning of 2022 I am going to be doing some weekly lives in January, really to make sure that you can set a great foundation when it comes to your personal finances. So I'm planning to do those on Sundays, so make sure you are subscribed to my channel and check my community posts so that you know exactly what time I'm going to be going live. But apart from that, you guys already know I have got my tea ready, plus I've also got the notepad that I actually use to set all of my goals. So yeah, I'm very excited and let's just go through everything. So when it comes to this year, one thing that I did not realize is that when I was actually writing down these goals, because I set this at the end of last year, I didn't know I was actually going to quit my job. So that was not on the cards, and so you will see that none of these goals have anything to do with me quitting my job. My mindset was very much focused on actually getting a promotion in my 9-to-5 job, and then with the additional income that I might get from my side hustle, I just wanted to use that to then invest it, particularly like either in our savings, or I wanted to invest that in the stock market. So that was pretty much my mindset at the end of last year. And so then during the beginning of this year, things started to change and my mindset actually started to shift towards actually building a business, because I really enjoyed my side hustle and it kind of felt like God was maybe pushing me into that direction. Plus I also realized that actually if you do invest in your business, that could also be used as a vehicle to work towards financial independence, and it can actually accelerate your progress even quicker if you do it right. And so because my mindset started to shift, and I do have a video talking about the reason why I actually quit my 9-to-5 job, but just thinking about that when I set these goals, I'm realizing yeah, some of these kind of changed. And so it's kind of interesting to see what my thoughts were like this time last year compared to now. And so when I set my goals, there were different areas that I wanted to focus on this year. So one of them were my own personal finances, another was things like any passive income that I'm able to generate. Then I also had business goals as well and some vanity metrics as well. So I want to go through all of these, but I would say that the biggest thing of all for 2021 for me was actually quitting my job. So when my heart was set on actually quitting my job, I did a lot of things behind the scenes trying to make sure that that could happen. And so I want to talk about that in a bit more detail throughout this video. But now let's start with personal finance. Let's see what I actually ended up setting and what I ended up making overall. And if you're liking this video so far, then feel free to give me a thumbs up, as it really does help to support the channel. Plus I'm sure you know it's free. So when I initially set my goals for personal finance, it was around 3 different areas. So it was around having a stock portfolio, saving up for a buy-to-let property, so this is a property to rent out, and then also for an emergency fund. So first of all, my goal was to have a stock portfolio of around £10,000, which is around $13,000. Now when I actually set this goal, again, one of the main things I wanted to do was of course focus on actually building my stock portfolio, but I also wanted to use my side hustle money to actually invest in the stock market as well. So this is where really things started to change, because rather than using my side hustle money, I actually ended up reinvesting a lot of my side hustle money, because I wanted to really pay for things in my business, because I was then thinking about quitting my job. And there was even a time where I actually reduced how much I was investing in the stock market because I wanted to make sure that my business was set up. So you guys that were following me throughout the year, where you were thinking, why is she reinvesting so much behind her business? This was why, because I wanted to quit my job. So in terms of my stock portfolio, I'm honestly not surprised that I didn't hit the 10,000 this year. But in terms of how much I actually have at the moment, my portfolio is around 3,168 at the time that I'm recording this. So I actually think that, you know, I'm still a third of the way through, so I'm very happy with the progress, and of course I'm going to want to keep growing that into next year as well. Then my next goal was to have savings of a buy-to-let and start working towards that. So the goal was actually 33,000, and to be honest, when I actually set that goal, I already had a feeling that this is probably going to move over to the following year, and I think I mentioned that in the video as well. But I wanted to have that goal so that I knew that I was still working towards it, and it wasn't just me as well, it was actually my partner at the time, which he is now my husband. And so I will say that now, obviously because it's myself and my husband, it's not just my money, we are about 2/3 of the way through. So I'm really happy with the progress. The only thing is that this may also be slightly delayed just because I didn't know I was going to quit my job. And so even though we're about 2/3 of the way through towards our goal, because I have actually quit my job, it's almost going to be used as an insurance. So just in case like none of us end up making any other income, we obviously still have those savings there, but we actually still do really want to buy that property. So that's something that we will probably carry on till next year. But I'm really happy that we've been able to make so much progress with that, because I have never ever had that amount of savings before in my life. Like I couldn't even imagine saving 1,000 before. Even the start of this year, I only had about 2,000 in savings. So to go from that to now having investments and savings and things like that has just absolutely blown my mind this year. So I'm really happy with how everything's been going. And of course, it's not just my finances now, it's actually my husband's as well. So I think next year is going to be quite interesting too. And then the other thing when it came to personal finance is actually having an emergency fund. So the goal was to have an emergency fund of 6,000, and that's actually something that we ended up hitting near the beginning of this year. So I'm happy we pretty much hit that goal of our emergency fund. So all in all, when it comes to personal finance, even though I didn't hit all of the goals, I'm actually really happy with the progress this year, considering that I had no idea I was going to quit my job, and that obviously took a lot of changes. And so what I'll be doing is just carrying on some of these goals onto the next year. Okay, so now let's talk about passive income. And this is the one where I just have to laugh, because honestly, these were just fun goals that I wanted to set for 2021. And some of them, they were just out of my control as well. So I think it's going to be hilarious going through some of these numbers. But when I'm talking about passive income, these were just any personal things or business things. So where I didn't really have to trade time for money, I just kind of counted that all as like passive income in these goals. So really the main things that I was looking at was bank interest, money apps, affiliate marketing, YouTube ad revenue, paid products, dividends, and free shares. So I want to go through all of them and let you know what my goal was and then what I actually ended up making. So the first one, in terms of bank interest, I had a goal of £10 for the year, which is probably like $13. And the reason why I had that is because interest rates had obviously tanked, and I didn't envision that they would be increased very much, if at all, this year. And also looking back in 2020, I only made about £3. So £10, I was like, actually, that's a little bit of a stretch, but we're gonna go for it. So when it came to the bank interest, halfway through the year, it was through our joint account, so myself and my husband's. So what I've done is just divided that by 2. And so I ended up making about £16.38. And that doesn't actually include December, because December's interest I get paid in January. So obviously I made more than £10, which is happy days. And then the next focus was on money apps. So these were just apps on my phone that I was thinking it would be fun to use. And so I had a goal of 50 on that, but I only ended up making 30. I think a big reason for that is because I didn't really use the apps very much. Like even the survey one, I didn't even use it at all. The only one I really used is something called Shopix, where you just scan your receipts. So I was able to make 30 from that, which was great. So that was all good this year, and I think it was a fun goal to set as well. Then the next one was affiliate marketing. So if you have been keeping track with my passive income reports, then you would probably know when it comes to affiliate marketing, it's something that I wasn't really focusing on, and it's not really something I'm very good at either. So in terms of affiliate marketing, I did set a goal of around 100 for that, but I actually ended up making £45.91, which is around $61. Now there are a few days left until December, so who knows, I may make more, but at the moment it's about 45. So just under half. I mean, to be honest, money is still money, but you know, 45, there was still progress there, so I'm still very proud. Then the next one was YouTube ad revenue. So this is probably one of the ones where it was completely outrageous, because first of all, when I even set that goal, I had not even been making a penny from YouTube ad revenue. So all I was really doing is just kind of comparing myself to other influencers, and just kind of thought, oh, well, if they're making that, then I'll probably make the same. Now that I know how much I actually made this year, I'm definitely going to be using my own earnings as a baseline rather than other people's. But in terms of YouTube ad revenue, I actually set a goal of 10,000. So that was very, very ambitious, and I was nowhere near that. In fact, this year I ended up making around 1,730. Again, there is still a few days left within December as well, so it's not going to count everything, but at the moment I've made around 1,730. So definitely not the 10,000 goal that I had in the beginning, but I've still been able to make over 1,000 just on YouTube ads alone. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that maybe performs over the next year. Then when it came to paid products, products. So these were really based on my budget template. So if you didn't know, I actually ended up launching my budget template this year. So this included a net worth statement, sinking funds calculator. You could also choose between a monthly budget template or a weekly budget template. So my initial goal for paid products was to actually reach £1,000, which is around $1,300. And in terms of revenue, so this is before Etsy's fees, I actually ended up making over £772, and that is also again without a couple of days based in December. So people are still buying my spreadsheets, so it may be slightly more than that, and I won't actually get the full earnings until the end of December. But in total by November it was around 590. So I think my total earnings will be just over 600, because obviously Etsy does take quite a lot of fees. But I am really proud of that, because when I first set that 1,000, that was a really ambitious goal for me, because I originally wanted to set a goal of 500. So the fact that I actually made almost 800 in sales, which is very close to that 1,000 mark, I literally can't believe it. And if you did buy my template, I really do hope you enjoyed it. I mean, some of the reviews that I've seen, it's been absolutely amazing. So I'm very proud the fact that I actually launched my first product and it almost made 800. Very proud of that, and so I'm really excited to see how that performs next year as well. So the next goal I set was on dividends. So if you don't know what dividends are, this is basically where a company might distribute some of its profits to their shareholders, and so if you invest in certain companies you may get dividends. So I actually ended up setting a goal of only £20 this year, which is around $26, and a big reason for that is because some of the things that I was investing in, so some of the funds that I invested in, they actually would reinvest the dividends automatically. So I knew I wasn't going to get that many dividends, but I thought it would still be a fun goal to actually set. So in terms of dividends, again, my goal was 20. I actually ended up receiving £29.82 in dividends, which is around $38. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. Obviously it's not like a huge chunk of change, but you know, money is money. So again, I'm very happy with that progress. And then when it came to free shares, so this was an interesting one, because when I actually set this goal of free shares, this was based on the investment platform I was investing through. So I was using Trading 212, and whenever I would get free shares, their free shares were actually very good. However, during the beginning of the year, Trading 212 actually stopped giving free shares because no new customers could actually join the platform since they were holding a wait list. And so what that meant is that the only free shares I was receiving was from FREETRADE, and to be honest, when it came to FREETRADE with their free shares, the share price would be like £5 to £6, so it wasn't much at all. So I actually set a goal which was very ambitious of 2,500, not realizing that I would not have free shares from Trading 212, and so I ended up receiving around £500.89, obviously being aware that the share price could fluctuate, but at the time of when I was recording things, that's how much I ended up making, which is around $663. So obviously it's not the 2,500, it is 500, but I do actually think that if Trading 212 had continued to let customers, plus the free shares that they were giving were still very similar to what they were giving before, I do think I probably would have got quite close to that number. But with 500, again, I'm still very happy, because that was really passive in that I just had links in my description, and if people were interested in that platform, obviously after doing their research, then they were able to actually just use the platform and get their own free share. So if you did get a free share using my link, thank you very much, and of course those links are still in the description below if you are ever interested in using that platform. Remember just to make sure you do your own research, and also I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not telling you what to invest in. So the only other goals that I set for myself, so I did set quite a lot of goals for 2021. I did set a goal of having an income of about 3,000 a month, which was definitely a lot more than what I was currently making, and so that was going to include any passive or active income. So I would probably say that on average I was probably making just under half of that, but I was reinvesting most of that. So part of that would have been coaching income, but then also part of that would have obviously been any other passive income as well. So I was pretty happy with that progress. And another thing I wanted to do was launch my website. I still need to do that. I did not launch my website this year, but it's still something on my mind, so hopefully that will be happening next year. And then I also set some vanity metrics as well. So again, these weren't things that I really wanted to focus on at all, but I just thought, you know what, 2021, let's just set everything. So I did set some vanity metrics in terms of my YouTube and Instagram. So for YouTube, I actually set a goal of 25,000 subscribers, which was ridiculous, and I knew it was ridiculous when I set it, but I was like, hey, go hard or go home, makes no difference actually if I hit that or not. So I decided to just set that. And so during the time that I'm recording this, I currently have 5,391 subscribers. So obviously it's not the 25,000 that I set for myself last year, but I still have more than 5,000 people subscribed to me. So still, that is very crazy, because I'm like 5,000 people. That could pretty much much be like a concert. So I'm very, very happy with that. Looking forward to seeing how the channel grows next year. In terms of Instagram, I did set a goal of having 2,500 Instagram followers. Yeah, 2,500. By the time that I'm recording this, I have about 1,271. And considering I actually wasn't as active on Instagram as I wanted to be, so I'm not surprised at my numbers. But now I'm really doubling down on my Instagram content and things like that. So definitely make sure you follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. And then another thing that I had was having one video actually end up having 50,000 views. And actually, if I go onto my YouTube channel, so my most popular video remains to be how I save 1,000 every month, and that actually has just over 47,000 views. So almost there, just almost close to the 50. So I was very close with that, but very happy with just how that has gone. And then the other thing was just I wanted to have my YouTube total views to be over 200,000. And if I just look at my about page, I actually did hit that. So I now have over 257,000 views. So again, really happy with how that has gone as well. And then the only other thing I had were kind of like personal goals that were more just intentional. So these were things that I wanted to do kind of on repeat. So these were things like reading my Bible daily, praying daily, exercising 3 times a week, reading a chapter of a book daily as well, and also investing in myself. The one thing I would definitely say that I probably slacked on this year, and I think I slacked on this last year as well, was exercise. I didn't actually exercise as much as I wanted to. So again, that's going to be something that I really want to double down next year, because health is wealth, to be honest. I can't be building all this wealth and just not have the health to back it up. So that's something that I want to focus on. And I did a lot of investing in myself this year as well. I would say one of the things that I wanted to do was just invest in like one course, which is the absolute minimum. I actually did a lot more than that. I hired a coach, I joined a membership, and I also joined a group coaching program as well. And so I definitely did a lot of investing in myself and my business this year, which I'm actually really happy with. So it's something that I will definitely continue to do next year as well. And so all in all, I'm actually really happy with how the progress went this year. Obviously, I would say the 2 biggest things for me this year was not only quitting my 9-to-5 job, but also launching my coaching program as well, and really starting to work with women on their own personal finances, and actually, you know, seeing that I can make a change in their lives and actually make an impact. I think that's been absolutely amazing. And also having the courage to actually quit my 9-to-5 job and making sure that I had set myself such a good foundation in terms of my personal finances to be able to have the ability to quit my job, I think has been so powerful for me. So I am actually really happy with how 2021 went. Even though there were some ups and downs, I'm proud of how everything's been going. And if you do really want to start focusing on your personal finances, you really want to take control of it, I am enrolling currently in my coaching program as well. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. I will link that up here for you and in the description below. But in terms of my next year goals, I will say that they are slightly different just because of where my mindset is going and what I'm really thinking about focusing on next year. So make sure you do check out Tuesday's video, because I'm going to be spilling all the tea on that as well. So if you did like this video, then please do give me a thumbs up if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments, how did you end up doing for your 2021 goals? I do post every Tuesday and Friday, so if you would like to know more, then of course you can subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys on Tuesday.